Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to our Throwback Thursday, and today I want to talk to you about the enigmatic figure known as Nicholas Barbon, or for his God-given name. And bear with me, if Jesus Christ had not died for thee, thou hast been damned, Barbon. Needless to say, he shortened it to the more pragmatic Nicholas Barbon. Son of Praise God Barbon, who partook in many of British uprisings and so on and so forth. He was the son of doctors and found that he preferred to go to be a banker because there was a lot more money and a lot less saving people. After the Great Fire of London in 1666 devastated the city, he started the the morally lucrative practice of selling fire insurance to people whose homes just burned down. At which time he took the money he made from his fire insurance business and built up the whole area between London and the city of Westminster, which were two separate entities, and it was technically illegal to build there, but he decided to build there and finish construction before anybody could do anything. Within a few years, he was the most prominent London builder in age, even after he had to do a brief stint in Parliament to not get prosecuted for breaking the law. He eventually took an interest in development of insurance in the banking industry and helped pioneer both. He founded an insurance office for houses, which offered fire insurance up to 5,000 households in London, and because of his work in that field, fires would never devastate the people of London the same way ever again. He was not, and though he was not absolutely the first person to come up with the modern mortgage, he's credited for being the first person to make it mainstream in a country. Now, while we may think that the modern mortgage is the bank's way of keeping us down, but back in the day, so much of Britain's economy was locked up in real estate that it was just not money that was not moving in the economy at all. And so what ended up happening is it allowed people to buy a house and live in it too. It opened up money in the economy that was something like 10% of their economy that was just locked up in straight real estate. And this was also, bear in mind, around the time of this was during a time in British history where Parliament was not too keen on paying for things, and this led to issues such later down the line, such as the South Sea Bubble, which I will talk about in a later episode, and the fact that London didn't really have a police force, and led to the corruption of individuals such as thief-taker Jonathan Wild and other storied heroes from the time. But I digress. This man built financial institutions within Britain that helped make it a powerhouse and that have been emulated the world over. Was what he did morally good? I would argue no. But I will say that in the long term, what he did help not only his country, but also mankind financially. It allowed us to open up certain ways to globalize across the world. He also was an advocate for getting rid of the gold standard, which some contemporaries might be against for reasons of how is money worth anything if it's not backed by anything. The problem is that is a very it's missing a lot of nuance of the conversation, or choosing to ignore that nuance for favor of feeling a certain type of way. But I digress. Nicholas Barbon is one of the financial characters of history that is very, very interesting. And if you want to check out more, I highly suggest checking out the Extra Credits YouTube channel and check out their Extra History series on the history of paper money. The third episode is all about Nicholas Barbon, and they go into it in much better detail than I do. So I think it's worth your time, but Here was your Throwback Thursday on some financial history. Thank you so much for listening, and we will see you guys next week.